All right, welcome to the youfa channel. We're going to recap a little bit more about last week's episode, and then we're going to talk about the Super Bowl. Life's not all sunshine and rainbows like people want you to think it is. The world can be a cruel place, often because people make it that way. Human beings can be a lot of things. And I'm supposed to keep my mouth shut? Guess again. I'm Johnny V. Welcome to the youfa channel. So I was washing my dishes by hand the other day, and I was on the phone with my cousin, and we were talking about my Gen Z episodes. And he starts laughing. He says, here you are washing your dishes by hand. These young kids, they complain because they have to load the dishwasher. And we got a chuckle. And it just further substantiates how young people in general, in particular the generations behind me, millennials and Gen Zs, complain about a lot of things that aren't very difficult. And over the last couple of episodes, I really beat them up a little bit. You got to take what I say with a grain of salt. I speak from the perspective of a middle-aged working man who has worked hard. I never went to college. I'm going to throw myself under the bus here right now. I never went to college. I went to community college for a minute and a half. It wasn't for me. So my point is, most of what I say doesn't apply to everyone. It applies to lazy people for the millionth time. Lazy people of any age. But even though it's a pet peeve of mine when college kids party a lot, I still have to admit, school is hard. College is hard, and it's something I never did. So I guess what I'm saying in plain English is, if you're a full-time student, like this Live Metrics 187 mentioned last week or the week before, that they're involved with higher education. If you're in college full-time, my hat is off to you. God bless you, and good luck. I was kind of harsh also with a couple other things I said. One of the things I mentioned was the illegal immigration issue. And because so many come here and commit crimes, it really gets under my skin. And that thing in the news where the immigrants were attacking the cops, that really got under my skin. So I lashed out. I said those things in anger. And when I used the phrase, we should beat the shit out of them, I'm kind of sorry I said that. I shouldn't have. I don't even like that expression, beating the shit out of someone. I hate that expression because no living thing should be beaten. But this illegal immigration issue and how it culminates in a lot of crime occurring in this country is a problem. Illegal immigration is a problem. The solution might just be to allow the immigrants to come into the country about 100 yards and then capture them, place them in a catapult, and then slingshot them back over the border. So that all the people waiting to cross the border illegally will see bodies flying and raining down and landing back where they came from, and maybe this whole illegal immigration problem will stop itself. I don't know. The other thing I said last week I was kind of harsh about was I made an analogy, and I used overweight people blaming McDonald's, and I said something about drug dealers aren't obligated to keep your drug addict kid clean. And that was a little harsh. I was in no way criticizing overweight people. And when I said drug dealers aren't obligated, you know what? Everyone's obligated, morally obligated in some way, to try to alleviate the pain of other human beings and make the world a better place. And I wasn't making light of the drug addiction problem, and I certainly wasn't making light of the pain that a parent has to go through if their kid has an addiction issue. And that phrase I used, your drug addicted kid, that wasn't too cool. The point of that was we need to reevaluate the allocation of blame and accountability and how much goes where. You understand what I'm saying? A drug user can't blame everything on the drug dealer. Overweight people can't blame everything on McDonald's. I hope you understood what I was saying there. So the Super Bowl. A lot of talk now. Big debate. Is Mahomes the GOAT, the greatest of all time? Now, the kid's great, and they compare him to Brady. It's too early to say. The kid's awesome, but it's just too early to say. Brady spent about 100 years playing football. He's going to go directly from the NFL to Social Security, I think. It's just too early to say that. Brady did a lot. Mahomes may eventually be the greatest of all time, but he's not yet. Okay? All right, so I go in the living room and at halftime, and I catch part of the Super Bowl halftime show, and there's that guy dancing around. What's his name? Usher. And he must have sprayed a half a gallon of canola oil on himself, whatever. And that's fine. And this other performer came out there, and I said, "Who's that?" And this girl says, "That's her." I said, "I know. Who is it?" And they all started laughing at me. I don't know who the hell it is. Apparently, her name, her stage name, her professional name, performer name is Her. And I just found that quite intriguing, because in today's day and age, I'm surprised that she's even allowed to do that. I'm sure somebody out there thinks she should be forced to change her name to they, them. And last but not least, the Kelce incident, when he shoved and yelled at Andy Reid and embarrassed him in front of the whole country. Now, when I first saw that, the magnitude, like I said, he did it in front of the whole country, so I was pretty pissed off, man. I was like, man, I would have grabbed that kid by the throat and sat him down on a bench and said, Super Bowl or not, you sit your ass there. Now, first of all, Kelce's a lot bigger, stronger, and younger than me. That probably wouldn't have gone well for me. Or Andy Reid. Plus, Andy Reid's a lot smarter than me. That's why he wins Super Bowls, and I watch Super Bowls. Now, in spite of how disrespectful it was, you got to take into consideration that it was 10 seconds of this kid's life. You can't judge someone's entire existence on 10 seconds of their life. Okay? Come on, man. It's not like he shot the Pope. He lost his temper under duress in the biggest game of the year. In fact, once in a while, I lose my temper. Yeah, that's right. I do it every Friday on this show. So, it was a week ago, folks. Okay? It's none of my business. It's none of your business. It's between Kelce and Andy Reid. And I think Kelce referenced it on his podcast with his brother. He acknowledged he was wrong. And there's a pretty good, I would bet, it's a pretty good bet that he apologized in person to Andy Reid. And it's personal between them. It doesn't need to be beaten to death a week later or 2 weeks later. All right? It's ridiculous. Men don't do that. We say what we got to say. It's over. Okay? Not that big a deal. All right. That's all I got. Hope you liked the Super Bowl. Johnny V here, soon to be the most hated man in America. For telling it like it is, go fuck yourself and have a great day.